All right, let's talk about something that I think is absolutely crucial today. We're going to call it the architecture of autonomy. It's all about how you can build a life of real independence by betting on yourself, especially in a world that's always telling you to play it safe. So, let's get right into it.
So let me start with a question, and it might sting a little. Is your safe job, the one with the 401k and the steady paycheck, is that actually the biggest risk you're taking with your career? We're all conditioned to think this is the smart, secure path. But what if it has a hidden cost, a huge tax on your actual potential?
This slide just lays it out so perfectly. On the left, you've got that traditional job. That's a symmetric risk. It's like betting a dollar to make a dollar. Your time is predictable, your income is predictable, and your potential for growth, yeah, that's capped. But on the right, that's where it gets interesting. That's the asymmetric bet. That's betting on you. Your downside is really just your time, but the upside, it's basically unlimited. You're not playing for a 1-to-1 return, you're playing for 1,000-to-1.
And that leads to this really powerful idea, shorting your potential. In the stock market, when you short something, you're betting that it will fail. So when you rely on just one job, one boss, one company, in this crazy, fast-changing world, you're kind of betting against your own ability to grow. You're trading away this huge, uncapped upside for what's really just the illusion of stability.
Okay, so if we're going to bet on ourselves, what are we betting with? That brings us to our first real action step. You've got to find your leverage. This means doing a personal audit, a deep dive to find what we'll call your zone of genius. This is where your unique, undeniable value is hiding. So how do you find it? You just have to ask 3 really simple but really deep questions. Number 1, what feels like play to you but looks like torture to other people? Seriously, what's that thing you just do? Is it making sense of a messy spreadsheet? Is it writing something that people actually want to read? Second, what are people always asking you for help with? This is a huge clue. It's the universe telling you where you already provide value. And third, you got to have the reality check. Can this actually be monetized? Is there a market for this skill?
And here's the best part. You do not need to be the best in the world at one specific thing. This is a total game changer. It's a concept called skill stacking. The idea is to combine 2 things you're pretty good at, say top 25%, to create something truly rare and valuable. Think about it. Being a good writer, that's common. Having deep knowledge of fintech, a little less common. But a good writer who also gets fintech, now that is a rare combination, and that is where the value is.
Okay, so you found your skill stack. Now what? You don't just quit your job and jump off a cliff. No way! This is about being smart, about managing risk, not being a reckless gambler. So let's get into the strategy for making the leap. We'll call it the Tarzan Method. I mean, this metaphor is just perfect, right? Tarzan doesn't let go of a vine and just plummet hoping for the best. He swings, he builds momentum, and he grabs tight onto the next vine before he even thinks about letting go of the old one. That's exactly how you have to see this. You build your new thing on the side while you still have the security of your main job.
So how do you get a grip on that next vine? You do it with something called the micro-bet strategy. Before you go all in, you make tiny calculated bets to see if your idea actually has legs. Want to be a freelance writer? Okay, can you get 3 paying clients in your spare time? Got a product idea? Great. Can you sell a few prototypes to strangers? You're not trying to make a fortune here. You're buying data with your time. You're proving the concept.
But look, you can't make smart moves, not even small ones, if you're terrified about paying your rent next month. This is so important. You have to remove desperation from the equation. To do that, you need to build a buffer. And it's not just financial, it's psychological too. First, let's talk about the financial buffer. The gold standard here, the minimum, is 6 months of living expenses saved up and sitting in the bank. This isn't just money, it's oxygen. It's the freedom to think clearly, to turn down bad opportunities, and to survive those first few months when things are slow without panicking.
The other half of the buffer is mental. It's 100% acceptance of one simple truth. You are going to feel like a fraud. You're going to have massive imposter syndrome. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and you just have to be ready for it.
But here's the mental jujitsu you have to perform. You have to reframe what that feeling means. Imposter syndrome is not a sign that you're failing or that you should retreat. It's the exact opposite. It's a sign of expansion. It's proof that you are pushing your boundaries and stepping into new territory. It's actually a sign that you're on the right track. So let's recap. You've found your skill, you've tested it with some microbets, you've built your financial and mental buffer. Now, it's go time. It's time to execute, because having an amazing skill is totally useless if nobody knows about it. You have to become the CEO of Me Inc.
And that means you have to market your value.
And the single most powerful way to do that is with public proof of work. You have to stop telling people you're good at something and start showing them. Don't just say you're a great designer, share your case studies. Don't just say you're a coder, show your GitHub. You need to build a library of evidence online that basically works as your salesperson 24/7, even while you're asleep.
But that can feel so overwhelming, right? Like, where do I even start? Well, that's where this next number comes in. It's a super simple but incredibly powerful framework for just getting started and pushing through that initial wall. The number is 100.
This is the rule of 100. It's simple. Whatever your thing is, sending emails, posting on social media, making short videos, whatever it is, commit to doing it 100 times. And here's the key. You are not allowed to judge the results until you hit 100. Why? Because most people quit at 10. They send 10 emails, get crickets, and they decide it doesn't work. The magic, the real difference happens between attempt number 11 and attempt number 100.
Now, on that journey to 100, you are going to get rejected. You're going to fail a lot. And this is where the biggest mindset shift of all has to happen. Society has taught us that failure is a final judgment. It's a verdict. You have to unlearn that programming. You have to start seeing failure as nothing more than feedback. It's just data. And here is a brilliant little framework for analyzing that data. When something doesn't work, don't get emotional, get analytical. Ask yourself, was my skill not good enough? Okay, the action is to get better. Upskill. Was I talking to the wrong people, the wrong market? Okay, the action is to pivot. Or was my idea great, but I just didn't get it in front of enough people? Well, then the action is to work on distribution. See, every failure becomes a productive, clear next step.
Look, this is hard work. Redefining risk, finding your genius, building a buffer, executing with resilience. It's a lot, so what's the point? What's the real payoff at the end of all this? Well, let's talk about that. It's like the compound interest of courage. The very first time you get paid for something you created from nothing, your first client, your first product sale, something incredible happens inside your brain. A switch flips. You stop seeing money as something a boss doles out to you. You realize that you can generate value in the world, and money is just a byproduct of that value. It completely changes your relationship with work forever.
And this quote just says it all. This is the ultimate prize. It's about taking the wheel. When you're just an employee, you're a passenger in your own career, really. Someone else is deciding the destination. When you build your own path, you become the driver. You pick the destination, you control the speed, you're in charge. That's real autonomy.
And with that autonomy comes truly uncapped potential. That artificial ceiling that companies put on your income and your impact, it's just gone. The only things limiting your success now are your own creativity and your own resilience. That's it.
So we've laid out the entire blueprint, the architecture of autonomy. The only thing left to do is to take that first tiny step. So the question I want to leave you with is a simple one. What's the first small, calculated micro bet you're going to make on yourself?